So, welcome back to Twilight 2000. This is our 18th episode. Thank you for joining me as we follow our team of 4 soldiers as they try to cross back across the German border to the west. Thank you very much. If you are a subscriber, I very much appreciate you. Thank you very much indeed for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, please consider it. You get to see when I release new videos, and it gets to help bolster everything with the algorithm. And if you like what you've seen, please do hit that thumbs up, like it really does help. And it lets me know that you're watching and appreciating, and it's okay. If you have any feedback, please let me know. Just put it in the comments. So today's session. So how we left the story, it is the evening, it's the night shift of the 3rd of May. I was just checking back, the team were survivors from the Battle of Calais on the 19th of April. It was the day watch of the 19th of April when we started. We're at trying to get petrol for their car, which had broken down and run out of fuel, and they were ambushed by the Marauders on the 19th of April, and today is the 3rd of May. The night of the 3rd of May. So Jack was on watch, and we had Jane, Doc and staff were sleeping as they were being hunted down by some rabid dogs. Staff had created a 1-hit camp with 2-hit hidden for recon, and Jack had done a 1-hit watch. So what we will do is we will roll for the wolves, the dogs first, and see what they get in trying to find the team. And then we will see how if Jack actually spots them first or they get to ambush. And then we will do initiatives. And after that, I will set the table up, and we will then do a table skirmish for our episode 18. I'm going to try and do it slightly differently. I'm going to try and film the table skirmish, as though I don't know if anyone who watches these also watched any of my Majestic 13 skirmish videos, but the Majestic 13 videos with a single held camera were much easier to edit than the past tabletop skirmish ones for Twilight, so I'm going to try doing it that way, which means you get to see less of my visage, but you'll see more of the table. I'll try and keep the camera in view and do it a bit better, but hopefully that will flow and be much quicker to process and get to you. So first off, we have 8 dogs, rabid dogs who have been tracking the team as they've been moving through the area. I'll just recap where they are. So the team has, they were warned by Alexander, or told by Alexander, that there was a damaged vehicle in this sort of general area and a team of surviving soldiers. So they're sort of trying to see if they can find that and see what it is. They camped up in an area here. Now, if I remember rightly, the encounter that we pulled was that there had been a tank battle here, because there was a T-72 that we could have got up and running if we had enough time. So they're camped up in the remains of a tank battle here. Staff did the camp, and they are now attempting to sleep, and tomorrow they're intending to continue off towards here, but whilst looking in this area for tanks. So dogs have an intelligence D, which gives them a D6, and a recon of A. But just for the story, and I want to set up the table anyway, we're going to say that they've tracked them. So now all it is down to is can Jack spot them before they're trying to sneak in. Now they're just going to try and sneak in and do an ambush. That means that they get a recon modifier of -2. We'll do that properly, which puts them down to a D8, D6. So what they're going to attempt to do is the 8 dogs are attempting to sneak into the camp whilst Staff, Doc and Jane are sleeping, and Jack is doing a little patrol and watch. So Jack got a one-hit watch. They fail, so Jack sees them. So as they start coming into camp, the dogs are sneaking in, keeping low to the ground on the haunches. And then as Jack sees them and they sort of spot Jack, spot them, one of the dogs rushes in and then the rest of the pack just charges in because they are rabid and hungry. And we will do initiative as it stands. So they don't get to ambush, but we will say that, let me quickly see. I don't think they've got anything about what happens with waking up. So I think from memory, what we did last time was we made people who were asleep make a stamina roll so Jack will shout. So actually, what we'll do instead is we'll just give everyone initiatives and we'll take it that they all just will start waking up and will be able to act. But their first action would be getting up and doing something if they're asleep. So we would have Jack going on an 8, the dogs going on a 4, because they're the main. So the dogs will charge in and start attacking people, which wake people up anyway. And then Jack gets to shoot, if he can. Then we'll have Jane going on a 1. So Jack has started to shout because he's seen them. Staff is on a 2 and Doc is on a 5. So Jack was on the 8, then the dogs, then we've got Jane on the 1, Staff on a 2. Alright, let's put little tags on them. So we will have Jane going on 1, Staff on 2, dogs on 4, Doc on 5, Jack on 8. Now, one thing I do want to do for Doc before we set the table up is I want to see how Doc is going to behave, because Doc has suffered quite a bit with the person he was bonding with being killed in front of him by Staff. So I want to use the parts per million NPC sort of modify their behaviour chart and see if Doc is going to act normally or not. 5 of clubs. Now 5 will mean that he will react normally. Clubs being dark would be a negative way, so maybe he will be a little bit more self-serving, but he's still going to switch into his training and behave properly. Let's return to the table in a minute. Okay, so this is the table I've just set up. Well, I've done it a bit more skirmishy than the felt that I had on the floor previously. We have the team, we have Jack who's on watch, we have Doc who's asleep, well, waking up because Jack started shouting. We have Jane and we have Staff. We have the 8 dogs, which are approaching, rabid dogs approaching from the wooded area. Bit of a remains of the battlefield. And we will start with initiative. If I do this like this here, we should be able to also see the dice rolls. So we've got our initiative and we're starting with Jane on initiative order 1. Jane is going to spend her... You are prone, get up. So getting up is a fast action. So she gets up as her fast action. So she isn't at a minus for when they attack, and she will drop to her knee and she will take a shot at, say, this dog here. This is a bit more distance, but because of the table and we're not using the little hexes, it doesn't show that way. But we'll have when the dogs get their turn and they do their move, they have a move of 3, so they'll be doing that full move. So she'll stand, push her sleeping bag off, get off of her kit mat, stand up, taking up her M16, which of course this is Jane, so she sleeps with her M16. Take aim at that dog and fire. Now, due to the fact that all of this is happening, I will give her the modification, the mod of not aiming, so she'll get a -2, and it's also night time, so she'll get a -2 for the night and she's groggy from just waking up. So I'm giving her a -4. Her agility is 12, her range combat is 10. She gets a +1 because she's a rifleman, but then she gets -4, which goes 10, 10, 8, 8. So she goes down to 2d8. She will do a burst from her M16, which gives her 5 dice. If she gets enough hits, we'll say that she can hit multiple of these dogs in normal Jane fashion. Hopefully you can see that. She gets 1 hit and only 1 hit. Doing a total of 12, 15, 17 rounds. So she empties out half the magazine, getting 1 hit on that dog. Her doing 2 damage though will shoot that dog. There's a painful yelping noise, and this dog goes down. And she's expended 17 rounds. Next in turn order we have Staff. Staff will do the same thing, taking his fast action to get up. He's got a hunting rifle. I will also give him a -4, so he will then take, the hunting rifle has a rate of fire of 1. He will take aim at one of the dogs coming up from over the far side, and he will attempt to shoot. If he gets his -4 as well, he starts off on a D10, D8, +1 D10, D10, -4, what's that? That takes him to D66. No hits. So he fires off a shot. Due to it being dark and him being a bit disorientated from just getting up. Now the dogs, so the dogs will do a movement of 3, but that will be their run-in. So they will go, I think 2 of them will come in and attempt to take Jane down. 2 will come in and attempt to take Staff down. 1 is going to have a go at Doc, who's still on the ground, and 2 will come across to Jack, who is already standing. Now Jane and Staff have utilised all of their move, so they don't get to block. Doc can block if he's waking up and a bit groggy, but he's still on the ground and he sort of can kick out. And then we've got Jack, who hasn't gone yet, and he can also block. They will attempt to take down, which is, so one of them will dive on the person attempting to take him down, and the other one will just do an attack. So we'll go against Jane first. The dogs have a strength of C, which is a D8, and a close combat of C, which is a D8. They are attempting to do the diving blow attack, which gives them a +2 modifier in close combat, going to D10, D10. So this one here will attempt to dive on Jane, and then the one next to it will just attempt to attack Jane if Jane stays standing, or if Jane goes down. So the one attacking Jane gets no hits, rolling a 2 and a 3. So it dives in, Jane just dodges to the side, and it misses Jane. And so the other one will attempt to take Jane down. Jane doesn't have to block against this because there was no hits. It gets 4 hits against Jane. Okay, this could hurt Jane. So Jane will attempt to block. No, Jane can't block because Jane utilised all of her turn. So Jane and it go down. So it counts as being down as well. So it's on top of Jane, attacking Jane. It does. A bite is 1. All right, so it got 4 hits. Now I've just looked it up. It says unarmed is 1 damage with a crit of 4, which means it has critically attacked Jane, which is her first crit against someone. Now, first off, we need to work out where it bites her, because her armor will get a +3. So it bites in the legs, which makes sense. She has no armor in her legs. So it does 4 points damage to Jane. Okay, so that 4 points of damage, so it does 1 base and 4. So it tears into Jane's leg, tears an artery, and Jane begins to bleed. We will roll on the crit damage, which is a D10 for Jane, who has been attacked by this wild dog. A 10, a severed leg. Jane has lost a leg. Okay, well, according to this crit chart, Jane has lost a leg. Well, let's see if, well, I don't know, can a dog sever a leg? I mean, a dog can do a lot of damage. We'll give Doc a chance to save her leg. But otherwise, yes, by the end of this combat, Doc is going to be doing some emergency surgery on Jane. Okay, so Jane is critically injured and is out. Okay, by a dog of all things. That was the dog. That's those 2 dogs. Now we've got these 2 attacking Staff. Staff is going to start shouting that Jane has gone down, and one of the dogs is going to attempt to dive at Staff, missing. Staff obviously dodges out the way, and the other one will attempt to do the same thing, getting 2 hits in Staff's arm. So Staff will take 2 points of damage to an arm. Both these dogs are on top of Staff, and they are prone, and Staff is prone. We have the other 2 that are going to dive in and attempt to take out Jack. First one missing again from the excitement, and the second one missing as well. So both of them attempt to take out Jack. Jack dodges around. They are technically prone, so they're not out. I'll move the ones that are out so we don't get confused. And then one comes in attempting to attack Doc, just doing D8s. 1 hit in Doc's torso, but Doc's flak jacket is snoring against his Kevlar vest as Doc attempts to fight it off, kicking it off. Next we have Doc. Doc will be attempting to kick it back, and then will draw his M1911 and will empty into the dog. Doc has a D10, D6, and it will probably drop by 2 because of the dark and the fighting in close range, going to D6, D6, giving with D6, D6 and 1 shot. So getting 1 shot on the dog, doing 2 points of damage. So this dog, Doc will scrabble around, kicking it off as he kicks it back, shooting the dog, who will yelp and go limp. And then we have Jack, who has 2 dogs which are next to Jack, and Jack has his shotgun. Jack has a D10, D8. We won't give Jack a negative because the dogs are basically prone, but because of the scrabbling, we won't give him a positive either. Jack does 2 hits, expending 4 rounds, which basically will take one of those dogs out of the picture. That's it. We go back to the top, which would be Jane. Jane is bleeding. Now they are dogs. They would continue to attack Jane and possibly kill Jane. So I think it's now it being Staff's turn. Staff needs to get those dogs off of Jane. So Staff is going to, he's got his pistol, isn't he? He could have used his HP 35. That would have been better usage actually. Should have done that. So instead we will allow him to, because we're being kind, we'll allow him to drop his hunting rifle and pull his handgun, HP 35, and he is going to shoot into the dogs that are attacking Jane, attempting to scatter them, whilst these 2 dogs next to him are gonna try and get up. Now he has got a D10, D8, and we're going to drop that D10, D8, we'll give that, well, let's go, what seems fair is a D6, D6, because he's shooting across and he's attempting to get them to scatter. If we get a hit on one of them, then they won't attack Jane, otherwise we'll do an oracle roll to see what they do. We get one hit, that's lucky. So one hit on one of those dogs, doing 1 point damage. So one of them yelps, and we're out of 3 dogs, so we've got 5 remaining. So that one, which we'll call dog 4, this one over here has been injured, and the other ones will back away, and so that staff would have been getting himself up and back a bit and then shooting into this dog here. That's staff's action. Now we have the dogs, so these dogs will come upright, and this one is going to attempt to, maybe that one will, let's do an oracle on a anything but a high black. That dog, because of being injured, will run away. So red will mean that it'll run away. Hearts, okay. So this one here will depart the scene, yelping, trying to survive the night. It may be the one survivor. So that's staff. Then this is going to come for trying to avoid the bullets, and he's going to try and run for maybe 1 to 3 dock, 1, 2 dock, 4, 5, 6 staff, 1 dock. Okay, so that's going to come into dock. It's going to just do a normal attack, which is a D8, D8 against dock. Dock can now try and block it if need be. No, it doesn't need to. So it comes in, tries to attack dock. This one will stand and try and attack Jack, failing again. These two will have stood, and then one will attempt, actually they'll both just come running. They're not trying to take him down, they're just trying to do their standard Nori type attacks. So the first one, staff is kicking out and distracting it, and the second one gets to attempt to bite staff. Staff used both of his actions, so can't do anything, so it starts to gnaw into staff's chest, so it jumps up and attempting to attack his chest. Staff has his flak vest on, which means it ineffectually bites against staff's chest. So that's the dogs. Then we have Doc. Doc, who is being attempting to be mauled at the moment, is still on the ground, will still kick out and attempt to shoot. I believe we gave him a D6, D6, so he will attempt to stick some rounds into that dog, and failing, so he will push that roll. Oop. And fails again. So he's going to need to change magazine soon. And so that was Doc, and then we've got Jack. Jack's still on his feet. Jack will, Jack could run. Jack will, I think Jack is going to shoot this dog and then run across to Jane and see if he can start, or maybe if he runs across. That dog's attempting to attack and miss, so he's going to run across and attempt to shoot the dog that's attacking Doc to free Doc up to help Jane. So he's going to run across to here and either kick out, or maybe kick out. Maybe that makes more sense because he's right next to the dog and doesn't want to sort of shoot the dog that's right over Doc. So D8, D8 for Jack's combat. Dogs can't dodge because the dog has used it. So close combat D8, D8. Jack will attempt to push, which means that he will, yeah, he's got that. So Jack will attempt to push, which means he can't re-roll that one, but he can re-roll this one. And he fails, but he takes 1 point of damage as he sprains as he kicks a rock instead of kicking the dog. And that is Jack. Then we're on to a new round. We've got Staff. Staff is being attacked by 2 dogs, so Staff is going to attempt to empty his pistol into the dogs to create some space for himself to go and help Jane. He has D10, D8 and one of those, but we'll say the dogs are all close in his face, dropping it by 2, going to D8, D6. So he's got D8, D6 and he attempts to shoot into the dogs that are napping at his feet. He will also push. And he takes 1 point of damage from pushing, which is enough. So basically, so Staff is now out, as Staff's hand is caught in the slide, because that 1 point damage was all the 1 point the Staff had. Staff is now injured and incapacitated, so now we're down to Doc and Jack attempting to keep the team together. So that was Staff. The dogs will turn on Jack and Doc. This is not looking good for the team, but they might be able to pull it together. So we'll have 2 attacking Doc, 2 attacking Jack, who hasn't gone yet. Neither of them have gone yet, so they can attempt to block. So against Jack, 1 misses, and the other misses. Against Doc, 1 hits, so Doc will attempt to block that one. Doc has a D10, no, D6, D6. Successfully blocks that dog. And the other one will attempt to catch Doc unawares, getting 2 hits. And Doc will attempt to, can Doc take 2 hits? Doc can take 2 hits. Doc, he's going to take those 2 points of damage. Because that will then give him an attack to retaliate with. Doc will then attempt to shoot the one that's been attacked, or maybe kick. What's his Doc's? He's got a D6, D6 or a D10, D6. He will go for the D10, D6. D10, D6, attempting to shoot that last dog. Shoot one of the dogs that's attacking him. He will, so he gets that, which means dogs, no, because they would be missed, weren't they? Which means the dog, potentially, we could say, because he's making a combat under fire roll, he will run away, but Doc will attempt to push, getting a hit. So hit +1, so this dog taking damage and going down. That's Doc, and then we've got Jack. With Jack's shotgun, Jack, he's going to attempt to shoot at the 2 dogs which are attacking him, because he thinks then Doc is going to be safe from that. Jack being D10, D8. We could knock it down because they're at his feet, which we should really, shouldn't we? So we'll turn that to a D8, D6. Come on, Jack, yes. So Jack gets 1 hit, which is enough damage with the shotgun to take one of the dogs out. Now we will now make the dogs make a coolness under fire check. If they fail, I'm going to say the last 2 run away, because the rest of them have either run or been badly damaged. Oh, they don't have one. Okay, let's do an oracle check. If it's a red, we will say the dogs run away, and then we will do some emergency field medicine, and we'll look up how we deal with critical injuries. So this is, if it's reds, the dogs will run. If it's black, they're going to keep fighting. Reds, hearts. The dogs take advantage to run away this turn, but what we will go back to the top, which means, yeah, we've got Staff who's out. The dogs will try and break contact and run away, and we will give Doc and Jack a shot each on the dogs as they run away. So Jack being a D10, oh, it's Jack. No, Jack's shotgun is empty. Jack's shotgun is empty, and I think Doc's pistol would be empty. Doc's pistol would be empty. It's a magazine of 7, and oh, he's got 2 shots. All right, Doc's going to expend his last 2 rounds. No, he's shot 3 times. No, Doc will have no bullets left. So those dogs will then run away. 2 dogs will survive. They're a 5 lane. They're anyone who took damage, it has got a 1 in 6 chance of, I think everyone took damage from that. So 1 in 6 chance of getting rabies. So we'll go around and we'll do that now. So Doc, nope. Jack, nope. Staff, nope. Jane, nope. Okay. Luckily, none of them contract rabies. Jane has what is described as a severed leg. So Jane may lose her leg. Staff is unconscious and his hand is bleeding. So Jack will run across and try and help Staff as Doc is going to get his kit out and start to do emergency medicine on Jane. And we will go back to, we'll clear this up and then we'll resolve that. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back to the camera. So what we have is we have Staff has taken too many injuries and has became incapacitated, but Jane has received our first critical injury on the team, which probably after this much time just shows that I was being very lenient and keeping them alive because I like them. So we will do Jane, who hands down I have become my favourite. Basically, according to the roles, she's going to lose her leg. I mean, whilst I was cleaning up the table, I thought we can still make this work. She's a good marksman. She can still shoot as long as they can keep her in a stable position. And maybe this is where she will have more than enough XP for Staff to teach her the expertise of sniper. So she can just become a stationary sniper. They will pick her up and carry her to a place she can do Overwatch. Just there's no more running into combat for Jane, which always getting her into trouble anyway. She'll just have to hop. She'll have to hop to it. Oh, too soon? Too soon? So Doc now needs to try and save Jane's life. So Doc is an expert at combat medicine, which is the medical aid role to help an incapacitated, injured person get up, which would include Doc helping Staff and Doc helping Jane. But at the moment, we'll just deal with Jane. So that will give him a D12, D12. He also has a surgery kit, which I think also helps with this. But I mean, he can't go above a D12, D12 anyway. So he has a D12, D12 in attempting. So this will take a stretch. Oh, here we go. A stretch, which is about 10 minutes. So we'll say half hour. Primary use for repairs. So this is taking stretch. So it takes about half an hour's worth of clamping and sealing severed arteries. Maybe she'll. So it says a severed leg. A dog can't sever your leg, but a dog can sever tendons and sever muscle, which basically is going to make her leg useless to her. So Doc needs to make a roll. So Doc basically, Jane's not getting back up again. This is a permanent injury, but she still would need to heal. So we would say, same as like arterial bleeding or shattered knee. Shattered knee is 3d6. So she'll still need to recover from this injury. Even though it's permanent, she's lost the leg permanent. But anyway, come on Doc. He gets 1 hit, which is enough to basically to keep her alive. So he has successfully saved her life. She is now alive. But she's lost a leg. What leg? 1 to 6 left. Left leg. So lost it or it's useless. So the muscle is all torn up and she can't use the leg. It will take 3d6. And they don't need this. They're on the run. Don't forget it. They're being hunted down. We've got 2 clocks going. Which in the morning of the 4th of May, and May the 4th be with you, we would need to do the clock ticking, moving on. So this is going to take her 9 days. That doesn't seem long enough. This is going to take her 9 days to heal. So 9 days of healing with Doc looking after, so they can move, but she can't move for 9 days. So they're going to have to try and find. So this makes it even more important that they try and find that vehicle and be able to move on. So now Doc will turn and utilise the surgery kit and his training in attempting to get staff okay. So for every hit, staff regains a hit point. 1. He could push it. He'll try and push this one, and which means that he might take stress. 2. Cool. So staff gets 2 hit points back as he gets his hand bound. I think Jack and Doc are going to need tending as well. So so that Doc's got medical. Jane had medical. Jack doesn't. So so if Doc treats himself, he takes -2. So Doc treats himself and gets 2 hit points back, and then Doc will treat Jack, and Jack gets 3 hit points back. Jack has the luck of, okay, that makes it the night of the 9th moving into the day, and so I'm going to make note that I need to do XP. Staff is going to stay with Jane, so we'll do the morning shifts and stuff. So we need to do XP. We want training because staff, ever the practical pragmatist, will already begin talking to Jane about, all right, don't worry about it, love, it's all right, it's all right, don't stress, don't cry about it, it's all right. Now you are a good shot, we can still use you as a good shot, we just need to find transport, innit? We just need to either find, we can use a car, and I'll push you. We'll push you to the border. Don't worry, we're getting there. We're gonna get there. And we also, we'll do the clocks now. How about we do the clocks now so we know what's happening with the clocks. So we've got the Mad King. The Mad King is on 3 of the 6. He's now on 4 of the 6. So the Mad King is hunting down. Now also what we'll do just before we close is we will do a recon roll for the tank team, because there was multiple shotguns going off, there was handguns, and one M16 burst went off. Now we've got the Captain Jacob. Captain Jacob, 2, 1, 2. Did I say it needs to be greater than or equal to? I can't remember, but I'm gonna give it 1 more, because this would mean that with any luck, based on session 20, we'll have a confrontation on session 20. Hopefully they get the tank team. Let's see if the tank team, let's give them the same, well, at least one of them will be a mechanic, so I'm going to give them the same recon as Jack has, which is a D12, D8. They're in the area, so they're probably in the hex where they think they are, and we'll give them a chance that they hear the weapons and they're going to come looking to see what it is. They get 2 hits. Okay, so the tank team is going to come looking. All right, we'll do one last thing, because what I need to now do is I now need to make a tank team. Now, how many people are in a tank team? If any black card comes up, there's 1 person in a tank team. There's 1 survivor from the tank crew who will be the mechanic driver. I'll see who drivers normally are for mechanics. If we get a red, then there's any red, there's 2, which would be a heavy weapons person, so a gunner, and the mechanic driver. If it's a court card red, then there's 3 people left. Well, just a red, so there's 2 people. So we'll say that we need the tank crew. I mean, they might not get on, for all we know, or they might not find each other. Is the driver and gunner. So I want a heavy weapons person and another mechanic, and then next session We'll see if they find each other. We'll see what happens with the Mad King and Jacob. We'll see what the vehicle is that got shot up and whether between Jack and their mechanic they can get it up and running. And then we will roll into session 19. So that was session 18. Not much happened. Basically, some dogs attacked. Jane was critically injured. Jane is now crippled. So according to the chart, it means that Jane can no longer run, and all of her mobility checks are at -2. So they're going to need to make some crutches for Jane. Basically, they're going to need to look after Jane and attempt to get towards that western border. And hopefully the clocks don't tick and everyone catches them all at once. But we'll see next time, next week in Twilight 2000. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have subscribed, I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much indeed. I think we've hit, hold on, we're on 402 subscribers, which is very exciting. And I am very grateful for that. So thank you very much. It's very exciting and very cool. But if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'll be really grateful. It'd be awesome if you can. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me for Twilight 2000. I will see you next time for session 19. Thank you.